I wonder who that could be. What's this? Watch me? Why not? Plus, this Frogtown movie looks kinda groovy. Hell Comes to Frogtown is a 1988 film directed by Donald G. Jackson and R.J. Kaiser. Jackson is a true visionary, directing some unsung classics like Baby Ghost and The Rollerblade 7. Kaiser, on the other hand, has never directed another feature again, and is now known mostly for his prolific sound engineering work on films like Interstellar and Dragon Ball Evolution. Hell Comes to Frogtown is a post-apocalyptic action feature that, as you can see, took no inspiration from Mad Max at all. The movie stars Roddy Piper as Sam Hell, one of the few fertile people left on Earth after the nuclear war, the radiation turning most of the population sterile or into something far worse. Now Sam is tasked to save a group of fertile women who are kidnapped and taken to Frogtown, the home of the mutant overlord Toady, who wants these women for unknown but likely nefarious purposes. I know this premise sounds like a setup for a terrible porno.
I see you don't have a lifeguard here at your beach.
I'm not at the beach, this is a bathtub.
But does this film elevate itself past its sleazy premise? Well, let's find out. We first meet Sam as he's being interrogated by a military officer. Sam and the officer's daughter apparently had a little soiree off screen, and let's just say Mr. Marine here was not a fan of that. But
Breaking news!
Sam knocked up the man's daughter, so higher-ups in the government take Sam away, and the military gives him a job. Part 1 of the job is to save a group of fertile women who were captured by the Toadmen and brought to Frogtown. Part 2 is to help repopulate the planet. Sam not too happy with this new job description, and placed in some special government issue underwear, with both a tracker and an explosive device, just in case Sam starts to disobey. Why you would place a bomb next to what you're calling humanity's future is a little bit beyond me. Now Sam, his government handler Spangle, and one armed guard trek into mutant territory. Most of the trek there is pretty unremarkable. There is a scene where the armed guard tries to shack up with Sam because he's apparently just that irresistible, but the handler puts a kibosh on it. As the team treks further into mutant territory, they find a lone woman wandering the wastes. They pick up this woman and she's dazed and delirious. They surmise she must be one of the women that was kidnapped by the mutant frogmen, which this leads to one of the most yikes scenes in the whole movie. Spangle sedates the woman because she was delirious, and then kinda just tells Sam to get to work. Sam protests, not because sleeping with someone without their consent is wrong, it's because the mood wasn't right. He hasn't been wined and dined enough. But after a little convincing from Spangle, he just does it anyway, which the next morning everyone was just kinda cool with. The 80s were really something else, weren't they? But soon after, the team makes it to Frogtown. But government agents can't just walk in there willy-nilly, so they devise a plan that Sam and Spangle are going to enter the town undercover. Sam is going to sell Spangle off as a slave in Frogtown, hoping that she'll be able to get close to the women that they're looking for. They enter the bar and find the majestic frog stripper in her natural habitat, and wait to meet their inside agent. While at the bar, the two run into Sam's surrogate father figure, Lonnie, who just happens to be in the mutant town. Lonnie sets up a meeting with the owner of the bar, Sam using this opportunity to sell off Spangle. But partway through the deal, Toadie's second in command, Bull, enters the bar and takes Spangle so he can bring her to Toadie himself. Sam tries to stop this, even though I thought the plan was to get her to be like an inside agent anyway, which leads Bull to knock out Sam. Sam comes to. He's been patched up by that aforementioned frog stripper. She was the inside agent the two were supposed to meet. And before she tries to help Sam get Spangle back, just like every other woman we've come across in this movie, she also tries to jump Sam's bones. And for that peak comedy of this movie, he's obviously disgusted and tries to run from the frog woman at any chance he gets. Now Sam is trying to find Spangle. He uses the tracker and his fancy underwear to try to find her location, which just leads him into a trap. he gets snagged by Bull, where he gets beaten and tortured. While this is happening, Spangle is brought to Toadie's harem, where we finally find the women we've been looking for. Spangle tries to rally the women into escaping, and it almost works too, until she's dragged off to be brought before Toadie himself. And as she stands before Toadie, she is forced to engage in the Dance of the Three Snakes. Meanwhile, during Sam's torture and beating, Bull attempts to pry off Sam's government-issue underwear, which Sam warns about the bomb implanted in said underwear. And Bull asks the same question as any observant viewer has at this point. Why would you place a bomb next to those prized family jewels? And assumes it was a lie to keep Sam in check. Bull eventually gets those bad boys off of Sam, and Chekhov's gun blows up right in Bull's face. This giving the Frog Lady an opportunity to jump in and save Sam, but the bomb wasn't enough to take out Bull. He gets back up and kills that lovely Frog Lady, but Sam gets the last laugh and takes out Bull. Spangle is forced to dance to entertain Toadie, and we also get introduced to those three snakes. And before anything can go any further, Sam kicks in the door to save the day. Sam and Spangle save the women, and the third wheel from earlier in the movie peels into town as the getaway driver. Everyone, including Lonnie, piles into the car and drives off. Toadie in an armored vehicle not far behind in hot pursuit. If you've had a few drinks by this point, you can almost get this scene confused with a car chase from a better post-apocalyptic film. The chase ends when our heroes are ambushed in the mountains. That military officer from earlier in the movie holds up the car with an RPG. He's been apparently two-timing the government and has been selling weapons and women to the frogmen, ending with Sam killing the man with a katana, which I don't even remember him picking up anywhere in the film. Sam takes the man's RPG and lays in wait for Toadie's caravan to roll up, and the RPG trick was enough to scare away Toadie's men, but Toadie himself was unfazed. And when Sam tries to fire, turns out the RPG was a dud, so Sam and Toadie duke it out until Sam leaves victorious. Now Sam drives off into the sunset with the women to get his happily ever after. While the plot of the movie never became anything more than its sleazy premise, there were a couple aspects of the movie I did find kinda charming, namely the frog prosthetics. I'm just kind of a sucker for those practical effects. I find those goofy, slimy, cheesy costumes they're all wearing pretty charming, but most of the movie kinda ranges from mediocre just to flat out bad. Most of the action sequences were pretty lackluster, and the acting was kinda subpar as well.
Impossible.
If you want to grab a few drinks and laugh at a bad movie, there's far better choices, but also a lot worse choices out there. So if I'm going to give it a score, I'd give it 4 lily pads out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.